How do you future-proof your career from AI? I recently did a video talking about how I very closely follow the employment statistics published by the U.S. Department of Labor. And there's been a lot of talk for a year now about the plateauing of hiring in white-collar jobs, which they call professional, technical, and scientific, meaning no new net hiring in the last year in that business sector. And in that video, I explained there is a reason for that, and that reason is ChatGPT and Gemini and all of the other large language models that are being employed now by big companies who do the bulk of the hiring of professional technical people. So understanding that AI has already started to affect the job market, new hiring isn't as bad as mass layoffs, but that's a phase coming in the near future that will start within the next 3 years. So how do you future-proof your career in this kind of environment? Well, there's 3 ways, and I recently talked about this at a college where I spoke on this subject. And I've actually updated number 1 since then because I've learned there's even one bigger than the number 1 I used then. But I'm going to give you 3 ways to future-proof your career. Number 1, first and foremost, to prevent disruption on you by AI mindset that may not have been what you were expecting. But let me put it this way. I was just at a conference that had an extended discussion about how employees are measured today and what counts as good performance now versus 30 years ago. So 30 years ago, good performance was just what I said, good. You got a good rating because that was next to excellent. And if you got a good rating, you got a raise, and you usually were not laid off. That was then, this is now. The discussion at this conference was that the game has changed since then. It's gotten far more competitive. So how much has it changed? Well, this much. In those days, the highest rating was excellent. No more. Today, the highest rating is outstanding. So here is what it means today if you get a good rating, if you get an excellent rating, or if you get an outstanding rating. If you get a good rating, you're getting laid off sooner or later. Obviously, if you get anything worse than good, you're probably given a first and final warning. Excellent. Excellent rating now means you're just treading water. And by the way, one of the foremost experts in the entire world was explaining this at this conference about corporate rankings and what it means today. So for excellent, all you get is a small raise and you still might get laid off. No guarantees. Treading water. Not advancing your career, but not being walked out the door given a first and final. So that really puts into perspective what has changed, because 30 years ago, an excellent rating got you an immediate promotion and substantial salary increase. Now, the new rating added in the last 30 years, outstanding, that is the rating and the only rating that gets ahead. And you got to understand that very few people in any organization, relatively speaking, ever get an outstanding rating in their performance. So why am I telling you this? It is not to discourage you. Absolutely not. Why? Because getting that kind of rating is in your control. That's right. It's in your control. So how do you get an outstanding rating today? You do more than you're asked. You do it better than expected. And you have an A+ attitude. So how do you acquire those things? An A+ attitude, doing more than expected, and doing better than expected. Mindset is the answer. So there are tools that I will be giving you in the future that will allow you to improve your mindset. I'm not going to do that today because we need to focus on the other two as well. So what is it beyond mindset? Continued willingness to learn all the time is number 2. That learning mindset. If you don't know how to do something and you're asked to do it, you learn it. How do you do that? There's videos for almost everything now, but there's also human beings who are most likely willing to help you if you ask. All you have to do most of the time is ask for help. Everyone is willing to give you help the first few times you do something brand new. So if you ask for it and support that with outside learning by videos or reading or whatever, then you can pick up these new skills. And that is the manifestation of learning mindset. Some people call it a growth mindset, but either way, it's the exact same thing. And I don't want to forget the third because it's also important. All three are important. Mindset first and foremost, but number 2 and 3 are equally important, with number 2 being learning mindset and number 3 being adaptability and willingness to change. The more adaptable you are and the more willing to change you are, the more you're willing to learn new things, try new things, do new things, and be recognized for it. So number 2 and 3 really do work together to augment each other. So by now you're saying, this is great, but what does this have to do with AI? I will tell you. AI is now in its exponential phase. I say that on most of my videos. What does that mean? It means that the rate of change is constantly accelerating, not just with AI, but with robotics, with sensors, which means self-driving, and robots, and all kinds of stuff. So because AI and its associated other exponential technologies are speeding up the world month over month, year over year, then it is critical that you have a mindset that embraces that reality. So again, we're back to mindset, accepting reality. We're back to learning mindset, especially with regard to AI-driven tools, which improve efficiency and will definitely cost some jobs, most likely create some new jobs we don't even know about yet, but the people who will get those new jobs are the people who have these 3 qualities I'm talking about. And the third is adaptability, because that's the hallmark of an exponential age. It's the hallmark of AI now. It's the hallmark of robotics now. It's the hallmark of sensors now. It's the hallmark of robots and self-driving and everything else that's coming with it. So this is important stuff, and this is totally on you. So like I said, I will gradually start giving you tools to improve mindset. But whether you use them or not, of course, is up to you. But it makes a huge difference. How do I know that? I've been in charge of HR for a long time now. I've hired thousands of employees through my HR organizations, thousands. So I understand all too well what employers are looking for. And this discussion, some of my discussions are focused on big companies, right? Not this discussion. This discussion will be every single company. So AI hasn't really started to push down into mid-sized and small companies that much yet, aside from the large language model component, i.e. AI embedded in the Microsoft Office suite or the G Suite. But it will come, and it'll come first to mid-sized companies, because right now AI and all of these other technologies are getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So at first, only the big companies could afford this stuff. But now it's getting to the cost point where mid-sized companies can start to adopt it. So what are mid-sized companies? 250 to 1,000 employees. 1,000 plus are considered big companies. Eventually, it will even push down into smaller companies. So check out next Tuesday's short for a perfect example of that last point about AI pushing down into smaller companies. And I will give you a clear vision of the future in that short. So I hope you found this helpful. This channel exists to prepare you for a highly automated future and to keep you in the game, to keep you employed during your peak earning years, to beat the odds because you don't want to be on the other end of that stick. So I appreciate you watching this video. I especially appreciate my subscribers. I'm very thankful for them. Also, please support us on Patreon. We need your financial support to continue to grow the channel and better serve you. I'm just about to start working on a major new initiative that will help you very much when it's done. It will take a little bit of time, but this is going to be a game changer for many of you. In the meantime, we'd really appreciate your support. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.